Hey, all right, ladies and gentlemen. Excuse me. Hey, all right, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. We're very excited to welcome you, to introduce you to the PSS show. That is all things that you will want for your life to make your life a smoother, greater. Everything that will make you for this life to be great. For your happiness, your success in money and all things, relationships and fulfillment and all the great things as well in both. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to welcome to. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, first of all, I want to apologize. All right, ladies and gentlemen. All right, ladies and gentlemen. How are you doing? Great. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce you to very excited for the first ever the PSS for showing you all the things that PSS has for your life that make your life great and happy and successful and productive and full of love and money and all the things that are great. And the PSS can satisfy all of your needs that are appropriate and all of their needs for the objects, things that you can use, things that you can do for always, products and services, and all the things will be great. Now, this is the first episode, and so we're still working out some of the kinks in the system. And at the moment, while we're working on full production, that's going to be great. It's a little difficult for me, but that's not your problem. I take full responsibility. But hopefully, not hopefully, I take that back, definitely for future episodes beginning tomorrow. That's right. What is today's date? Today is whatever day you're saying this is. Time is now. There's no yesterday or tomorrow. Today is now. But tomorrow, there will be a new episode. And as the episodes go great, and as we develop and complete the production, but everything is perfect right now. But as we continue to add things, which is our life is about growth and adding things, as we continue to add things, and there will be more comfort of movement for my neck, and all the things that will make it more easy for me to breathe, and I want to can communicate even better. It will be great for you, because then you will be able to see all the wonderful things.
Hey there, buddy. Times are very difficult for everyone in the world right now. Maybe more for you than for others. You feel depressed a lot of the time. You want to do things, but you can't get things done. You don't know what's the problem keeping you from doing that. But there's some force that's acting in opposition to that. You're lonely. You might be very successful outwardly. Your career might be very strong. You might have all the boats and the cars and all the things that material living can offer in that respect. But there's still an emptiness in you. There's still an unhappiness. There is an absence inside you where there should be something. And this makes it very difficult for you. And going through the day is real difficult for you. And in fact, and also, even if you're not successful, you are maybe in a very bad way as far as material things. But you know that if you could only have a way to do those things in your life, you could have been successful, but you cannot. You discover that it's too late. It feels like life is passing you by and you don't know what to do, like everyone else is living in a parallel situation, accomplishing and doing the things that you always wanted and you knew you could. But apparently you cannot do that, and it's very painful. Or maybe you have some crippling disability that makes every living moment extreme pain for you. The summation of all these various different things, and there obviously could be overlapping from one to the next as far as the different variables of success or with lack thereof, or physical capacity or lack thereof, or loneliness and all these things. But the point is that everything is so painful and too much, and you want to die, basically. I know that's a really crazy thing to say directly. Usually people say avoid that, and there's a lot of shame wrapped up in that topic, and you don't want to discuss it. You're ashamed to tell it to your friends or your co-workers or other things like that. But the pain you feel cannot be denied, and it's very bad. And some days, man, I'm telling you, you wake up in the bed and you say, hey, today I may not be getting out of this bed. I don't mean for suicide. I mean in that sometimes you feel that you will not get out of the bed that day because you will remain in the bed all day, ordering food online, not doing exercise, not going out and seeing your friends. Maybe you don't have any friends. Not going to work. Maybe you don't have a job. Not associating with peers. Maybe you're alone and nobody, or it feels like nobody likes you. And the point is that all of these things combine to lead for you to have the feeling that, hey man, sometimes, well, life is too difficult. I don't think I can go on. Well, I'm telling you a number of things. Firstly, man, I've been there. Or person, I don't mean to, it's not gender specific. This pain reaches many people. So, first of all, let me tell you something, person. I've been there, you know, I know how it can be, okay? Man, person, I really know how difficult it can be. And the various variables that I mentioned earlier, whether it's work, man, I've been there, the times when I have not had a job, or I was employed and I was not being paid what I felt that my skill level, it was what I should have been paid. Or I have been there, man, times when I felt isolated, like I did not have friends, or, you know, girl by my side, or guy. In my case it was a girl, but it doesn't matter. Everyone can feel these difficult things, and man, I'm telling you, there were times when I felt, whew, I really don't know if I can do this anymore. And sometimes the signs are not clear to everyone. Hey, you know, I mean, sometimes in pop culture, you're going to have an idea of what it means to be really at the end of your line. You know, like someone sitting in a dark room with a bottle of whiskey and saying, and you know, a gun in their mouth, saying, I cannot do this anymore, or to whatever you could hear. And sometimes it's the loner who goes into a place and is very, very morose, and it seems like all the world is crashing on their head. Or sometimes it could be someone and you don't suspect at all that they're feeling this way. They could be the happiest person. They could be at the local place where you drink, and they will be the loudest in the room. Or it could be at work and they're the one making jokes, saying, hey, you know, and making jokes like that. Or they could be at a family gathering and very active and in charge of many details and arranging for everyone to be comfortable. In fact, making sure that everyone is more comfortable than they are themselves. And sometimes that is the person who wants to die. So I know that feeling, and I also know the shame that comes with that. Because in our society of go-getters, of, hey, let's make billions of dollars, let's have a fancy car and many of the things that you'll see on social media, that they'll tell you that you should have and you could have, and if you don't have, then there's something wrong with you. Well, here's what I'm here to tell you something, okay? Let me tell you, friend, multiple things. First of all, I've been there, man. I know how it feels. You and I are the same in that respect. Secondly, there's nothing to feel shame for. You should not feel shame for that. It is a natural feeling because of all these crazy times that we live in. It's really a crazy time. And thirdly, I'm here to tell you that there is a solution to this. And what I'm telling you now is that the solution is to choose life. But don't choose death. Because, obviously you can, but I'm not telling you what you can do or you cannot do. But here's a number of reasons why I'm telling you to choose life over death, even when it seems most helpless. And I will follow these reasons with the logic by which I came to that. To choose life over death, and a particular life, and specifically how to do that. That's right. What did I tell you? Did you just hear, hey man, are you telling me that you know why I shouldn't die and how to live life? Are you telling me that you know the answer to why I should not kill myself? And it sounds crazy that I should be presuming to know this, but I do. It's really crazy. And so the reason I'm telling you firstly is that number one in the list of reasons is that if you're to die, then all these things that your dreams that you had about where you wanted to be in this world, hey man, if there's two ways that it could either happen or not happen, whether those things can be accomplished if you're either living or dead, I'll let you guess which path would enable that to still be a reality and which would not. That's right, the answer is death would make it impossible, extremely. Secondly, you're saying to me, okay, so, hey, a lot of people tell me that I shouldn't kill myself. But what do they know? And also, a lot of people offer reasons not to do it, but I'm speaking as you, and I know people who have tried to do those things, but they still end up, putting the anecdotal bullet in their head. And so, hey man, where does that leave me? And first of all, I'm sorry for that, if that is something that actually happened. I sincerely feel bad for you. But secondly, I'll challenge you on that. And I'll say, well, did they do this particular thing? And you'll say, well, I don't know what that particular thing is. And I'll say, naturally, man, because I haven't told you about it. So in this way, I want you to feel like you and I are already talking in a friendly way, that we're kind of joking in a comfortable way, and that you feel comfortable with me, and that we are kind of in the same place, even though I don't obviously know who you are. But I want you to know that we do have a personal connection, you and I. So thirdly, and I say to you when you raise that objection, you're 100% right. I can't know what people that you know who might have ended their life, what they have gone through. I don't know. There are so many people in the world, and I can't possibly know them. I mean, I'm very busy. But it doesn't mean that they did not choose the right thing for them at that time. Thirdly, I want you to know that there is a solution. I want you to know that there is a way. I want you to know that even though maybe other things have presented to you reasons to live, and upon further examination you said, hey, there's something missing in this package, so to speak, that this will not be one of those. Can I guarantee anything? Legally, no. Of course I do not guarantee anything, because, well, legally also I cannot do that. But I don't need to do that, because what I'm offering to you is the opportunity to say, and now you're asking me, is this going to be a program I have to pay for? And I'll say, not at all. But I understand why that is a question that you would think to make at that time. Are you going to say, is this something that I'm going to choose to do, but it will prove to be too difficult for me? And similarly, I'll have to laugh and say, no, it's not too difficult for you to do. However, this is something that I'm not telling you that it will be easy for you to do. And in fact, it's not something that is too difficult for anyone who is willing to put the work in. So this is something that I will, obviously I cannot make any guarantees, and legally I'm hereby saying that I do not have any legal obligation, and whether the outcome of this program is that someone benefits or not, and I am not obligated to anyone or their estate or their family, which is, I think, pretty much assumed by now, and if not, then I believe I've explicitly said that legally right now. But if you do not do this program, then it means you did not want it enough, and you did not put in the effort. Now, but this is a program that scientifically, legally it's not scientifically, but that in a certain way, it was scientifically proven, in a certain way, by certain ways, to document and figure certain things out, that this is something that anyone can do. So, by definition, if it is something that you cannot do, then it is something that, I'm not saying that there's something wrong with you, but I'm saying that you did not try hard enough to do it and to make it a success. Because this program is custom tailor-made for everyone at any level to be able to do. So by definition, logically, if its program is custom and tailor-made for any level of anyone to do at all, then logically, if someone fails to do it, it is not the fault of the program, but it's the fault of the person, and I'm not laying blame on anyone. I'm just saying that everything in life that is important, that you really want, is going to be difficult. Hey, if I want to cross the street, then I can cross the street, and I will accomplish that. But hey, it was easy. But is this a wonderful thing that I want to have accomplished? Now granted, if there's a pile of money on the other side of the street, or a beautiful woman shaking her finger at you saying, do not take that money, then at that point I might not cross the street. But I think you understand what I'm saying, in that the street can be crossed or it cannot, and it's not a big deal. So imagine if there was a big deal, and now if there was a Ferrari, and I would say, hey, do you want a Ferrari? And you'll say, sure, I want a Ferrari. And for me to say, and I believe that you have to grant that if I were to say, you have this Ferrari, is the amount of difficulty required that for you to be ultimately have legal possession of this Ferrari is equivalent in effort, as far as the effort required, is equivalent in effort to simply walking across that road, assuming there are not obstacles, assuming it's a regular street and a regular road, and you can do it that same amount of effort, and you can have this Ferrari, which is a car obviously famous for being extremely expensive. And I think that you will extend the courtesy of acknowledging that I might be incorrect in assuming that if I were to offer you that, which I'm not offering legally, but if I were to say you can have this in exchange for the amount of similar in the amount of effort that you would have simply crossed the street for something, I would not be too far. I would not be very wrong in thinking that you would laugh me outside of the building. You would say, "Listen, I don't know what you take me for, but are you saying?" But obviously, I cannot have the same. It's not a similar thing. I think you agree. You understand what I'm saying. So similarly, what is more than the value of a Ferrari? The value of Ferrari is more than that. Is your life, and if you lose your life, then even if you had a Ferrari, you would simply be a lifeless person in a Ferrari, and you would. And I have to assume that anyone, even with the imagination of the most successful and famous filmmakers of the world and painters, that even they would not have an animate imagination to believe that a corpse will enjoy a Ferrari, even if they officially had legal rights to it, and if before they had expired, so to speak, that the paperwork would have been in their name, that legally they would be in full possession of that, even before it was, say, transferred to their estate. So that there was a period of time where a lifeless body is in a Ferrari and owning it. Would they enjoy it? As I mentioned before, I think that even the most famous artists, renowned for their imagination, would not be able to agree upon that the corpse, and this is of course barring afterlife issues, but even afterlife, it's presumed that maybe it would not be a big deal for them. And this is not saying anything against any religions. Legally, I'm exempt from that. I'm not criticizing anyone in any form. Thereby, my point is to say that if the effort to get a Ferrari is much larger than the effort to simply cross the street, there be it any street, and life, if you do not have life to be in that Ferrari, so even more important than that is life, is what I'm saying. So more valuable than the Ferrari is that if I told you you could have a Ferrari, but you would be dead, you would probably laugh me out of the room. And I'm telling you that I agree with how you would have received that information. And I similarly feel the same way in that way. And I feel like we are very similar in that way, you and I. The point that I'm making is that your life is extremely valuable, and not just to yourself, and not just to me, but to the world. And the world, I would be sad to lose you. And you have to take my word for it that the world would also be very sad to lose you. And I don't just mean your friends and your family and your loved ones and those who are dependent upon you and your income. Because you may not have any friends or family. You might be one of those in society, and I will not use a bad word, but who has no one and nothing. But I do not mean that in a mean way. That just might be factual description of your life, in which case I'm not liable if that is actually what your life is described, is that you have nothing and you have no one. But the point that I'm saying is that even you, the world will miss you. And an atomic level, maybe, or maybe a quantum level, but technically the world will be affected, and this is scientifically proven. It is proven by science that the world is different if you are not in it. You in your current form, if you are not in it, because the particles might distribute in a different way. So, but as far as you know yourself now, if you're not in the world, there will be a difference. Maybe it will not be perceptible to anyone living, known in the current state of their consciousness at the moment. But technically, I believe I can say with 100% confidence that scientifically, the world will be different without you in it. And so the point that I'm saying is that everyone can participate in this program, and it will be difficult. And if you fail, it is your fault. But scientifically, it's not my fault, because the program is designed for anyone to succeed if they put the effort into it. Now, you say the question, the following question that is only natural is to say, hey, man, this all sounds amazing. Where do I participate? How do I sign up? And more importantly, you look at me with a look of you're very suspicious. And so you say the following words to me. You say, with not a small amount of suspicion, hey, buddy, as you chuckle to yourself. You say to me, hey, this sounds great. How much do I pay? How much is the bill? How much money do you expect me to shell out for this? And when you say that to me, I respond to you, you got me, buddy. I understand I'm not saying you got me, because it's actually wrong what you're saying, but it's not from nowhere that you say that, and I understand completely. If someone were to tell me that they could that they could provide something bigger than a Ferrari, and there's no cost involved, and that which is bigger than a Ferrari is your life. And that is what I'm telling you. If there's one takeaway, if there's two takeaways from this, it's that your life is much more better and expensive than a Ferrari, or even most expensive cars in the world, hundreds of them combined. Your life is much more better than that. And second takeaway is that to do it, to maintain that thing that is much more valuable, this program can do it. Now, to return to the other exchange that I was having with you, and we were laughing, and you said, hey, nice try. To tell me something like this, there's got to be a bill in it coming my way, delivered by a Hercules jet, because a regular bill, it will be so huge. You're saying that in exchange for me to give my life meaning and to continue to do that, there's going to be a bill, probably 2 Hercules jets. They probably have a bill that big, and in a massive factory they put it in 2 different parts and had to send 2 Hercules jets to wherever I'm located, and I do not know where you're located, buddy. So, and I would say to you, yeah, but presumably that they could be transported by land, by different vehicles. I'm not saying I know that you're a flight from me. I'm not presuming to know where I think you live, and that if I were to send it to you, it would require a plane, because for all I know, you could be, not only could you be near me, and for it to be more practicable, grand transport, but I do not know, obviously, where you live. We do not collect any data, and also because this advertisement is distributed online and through many forms, that there's no way possibly, even if I did know where you live, which I don't, that even if I did know where you live, this message is going out all around the world. So obviously I'm not saying the same particular message to everyone, because even if I did know where everyone lived, this particular message is similarly going out to many people. So I obviously don't know what that is. But by way of saying that, yes, I would reply to you, I know that you would think that something this valuable would come with a price tag probably beyond something if you were to be able to sell a planet. And I would tell you, I understand that that is the first thing that you assume to be the case. And I will tell you no. And I will say, listen, man, with all due respect, we're friends, we're buds, okay? We've been through it, and we know that, and I would, with all due respect, I want to tell you, because friends, close friends, can tell directly to each other things. You know, if I were just some salesman, which I'm not, but if I were some salesman telling you something and I had incentive to be deceptive with you, I would say things that were not necessarily true. And because I'm not a salesman, I'm not doing that. And even if I were a salesman, I would not do that. And I don't think that you should assume that I would do that, because that would be wrong. But even if I were a friend, if we're a friend and I'm telling you something, and there's a way for me to transmit information to you that I don't want to tell you the truth, then what kind of friend would I be, right? Because friends who always joke around, even though it's time, even though there is contradictory information in the system, a friend who does not point out that there is a contradiction because they're afraid of how that information will be received, is not a good friend. Now, if you have friends like this, I'm not telling you that they are bad friends, but I'm just telling you that there are better friends out there to be had. I am not a friend like that. You and I are close enough friends where when we have a disagreement, or if you say something that presents an issue, it presents some kind of inherent fallacy, and I feel that this will affect you later down the way, even if I know that it would be easier for me to not point that out and to act as though, because if you felt similarly, if you felt a very you have a lot of surety and energy behind saying that, and it would be much easier for me to say, hey, I agree with you, I do not have anything to say about it. Would I be a good friend? Sure, we might have a couple of beers, we might pound back a couple of beers and catch a game, and it would be great. But would I be a great friend? No. A great friend is someone who can say, hey man, there is a contradiction in what you're saying. And I'm not pointing it out in the absolute sense that contradictions are inherently bad, because I'm not a guy who cares about that. Am I right? But I'm someone who's saying that because I think that the contradiction in the system will somehow eventually come back to cause you problems, even though this is certainly not what you want to hear right now. You might, and even if you respond to me with a negative, with a response that is negative, and you might say to me, hey man, if you're going to contradict what I'm saying, if you're saying that what I'm saying is not right, then hey man, we're going to have problems. Then we might not even be friends. And I am telling you right now that I am the kind of friend, and we have the kind of relationship closeness, the second level to brothers or sisters or family members. It does not matter the gender. And that I am that good friend to you, that even at the risk of losing that friendship about which I just mentioned now, I would say to you, no man, I'm drawing the line. This is the line in the sand. As your friend, I have to tell you that the thing that you're saying, there's contradiction, there's fallacy in it. And that fallacy is going to bite you. And I don't care, frankly, if this is a problem for you, because I'm too good for your friend for that. I would put to this, that yes, that is my point. Because, man, I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to do the work for makes people great. And if I have to be alone, drinking in a bar by myself, knocking back whiskey, and living the life of a loner, because that is the right thing, then by God, I will do that, and I will select that fate. And if it means taking on the problems of other people, even strangers to me, I will do that, because that is who I choose to be. And yes, more important, and you might say, oh, our friendship means nothing to you. And I will say, okay, is our friendship, and you might say, our friendship, is it worth equal to a television set? I would say, come on, man. It's more than that. Obviously, this question is ridiculous. Come on. And then you would compare our friendship and you would say, is it worth more than a washer dryer set that could be easily worth $2,000 high end? I would say, come on, man, you're giving me insults. And then you would say, oh, what about the car sitting outside? What about the Lamborghini? Is our friendship worth that? And I would say, not even close, man. 1 millionth Lamborghini is not even close to 1% of 1% of 1% of our friendship. And I will even turn to you in a moment of slight dismay, saying, come on, man, how do you insult me like this to ask me these questions? And then if you were to proceed to go along some kind of comparison chart of increasingly valuable things, and not only is each thing individually increase in value, but you increase the number of them by which you multiply it in order to measure it. If you give me logarithmic scale, maybe something of comparison, I would say we can continue going on this. I would say bring the scale, buddy. I would say bring the log, buddy. I would say bring the log, by which I mean bring the logarithmic scale, nothing that's inappropriate. I would say bring it, because nothing you tell me can equal our friendship. And then you say, aha, so you're saying our friendship means a great deal. And I'm saying exactly. And that is why when I tell you that even at the risk of our friendship, I will tell you the truth, even to risk our friendship, is an indicator, not that our friendship has no value to me, but on contradiction. Conversely, it means exactly this is how much that our relationship means to me, and that and I would sacrifice this, that is how much I value you and respect you. So I would say all of this in summation. I would present it in fewer words, but I would communicate this same exact thing to you when you say, you're telling me that this is for free. And I'm telling you, yes, it's for free. And you will look at me askance, and you'll give me a side eye, and you'll give me shade. And let me tell you something. I will rest in that shade. I will have a picnic to be in the shade that you throw my way. Because I know that I'm telling the truth. I would be so confident in the truth that I'm telling that for me it would be like a vacation. So the answer is yes. There's no yes. Do you grab your hands in amazement? Do you put your palm to your face in shock that the thing I'm promising you has no initial sign-up fee at least. There's no initial fee. That's something I say to you, even at risk of you calling me a liar. even at risk of your telling, if you're going to everyone in your community and saying this person lies, this person is spreading horrible evil, even if you were to do that, I would still have the same information to you. Now, that as we're still finalizing the details, our co-workers, my team, will get more information to you about this program. And I think that you will find that if perhaps you have not found other solution to this problem of despair, of pain, that this could be the thing that is my gift for you. My gift to you, and that it's not a product I'm selling. I'm not one of these guys selling some kind of program saying, hey, I offer you this and that, everything's easy, just give me money and everything's fine. I'm not that. This is something that is not a joke. This is about life and death. That is why it is that important. So you will soon get information when we cross the T's and dot the I's and arrange for all the things of the particular event details. So listen, and my team will get back to you. And remember, your life depends on it. Are you worth your life? And if not, either way, I'll see you in the next, not the next world, I don't mean afterlife, I mean I'll see you the next time we have the program, I'll see you at the meeting, or in the next way in which we communicate on this world. Because man, I'm telling you, life is great, and the sooner that you feel that way, the sooner I win. And it's not about me winning versus you winning, it's about both of us winning. And the reason why I say I win is because I feel like I'm only winning when we are both winning. So I wanted to say that when I say I win, it means, in fact, even more so than me winning as well as you winning, that you are winning more than I am. That's what I'm saying. So when I say I win, it means you win, even if I do not win. And sometimes even more so if you win and I lose. That's the price I pay for you. See you there.
At the moment right now, I'm going to, yes, though this is not a full episode. The full episode will include sales of many items, as well as previews, and will showing content. A PSS is a show all the things that you could ever need. Products, services, content, movies. All the things that you could want. Today we're a limited time on production, and we're able to do it with certain restrictions, which is all great, all part of the process of production, and everything is great. And soon when we will have full live programming, episodes, shows, but also services if you want us to do things for you. But with products and services, you need products that will help with your life, and also services for everything that you need, for all your dreams to come true. And soon we will have a way for you to contact us. And the things you're experiencing today will not be in future episodes. And it's not an episode. We are a store. Consider us your local store that you go to go, and your local place that you go to get all of your needs, everything you need. And even if things we don't offer, you tell us what you need, and we will find a way, most likely, assuming that it is something that's possible to do. And as well, and all the dreams come true. And so stay tuned. And there will be a commercial following this. Stay tuned after the commercial, and if there's no additional something happening after the commercial, then bid next week, tomorrow, and for the next episode, and for the things that, and for how to contact, and all those other details are currently being decided, because all these things to do it great for you, for your service, for you to make everything great for you, you're making sure all the things are perfect. So please be patient, but very exciting. You should feel very excited about this, and well, here we go, and away we go. That's great. See you soon from everywhere.